Hello friends, I welcome you to this new session on basic course of real estate project registration in MahaRERA. We started the session on 10th of June 2024 and we will be ending after 22 sessions. Today you have a presenter who will take up the issues and then a question answer will be there at the end. This session we had to organize because we were receiving a lot of requests across India from the chartered accountant who want to enter into the new area of practice to start this basic course so that they can enter into the advanced courses. We have conducted n number of advanced RERA courses, number of books on RERA has been done, and cooperatives, redevelopment, GST, income tax, NPO, cooperatives, so many programs have been done. So this is the opportunity for you to comment, give us the suggestion so that we can do the course. Similarly, we have also agreed to take up so many courses physical at different places, residential programs. So whatever you want, if we get more than 20 to 25 participants, we will be happy to host that program. Our aim is to empower each one of you to enter into area of practice, and wherever you get difficulties, we are there to help you. I welcome each one of you for the second session on the basic course on real estate project registration and agent registration in Maharashtra, law and procedure. As you are aware, we have divided this study course into 22 sessions, 1 hour each. We are going to deliberate on Monday and Wednesday, evening 5 to 6 p.m. Last, we had a first session on 10th of June, which started. CA Bharat Surbhi Donde took the session, and we had a chief guest as Honorable Sri Gautam Chatterjee, and then as a panelist, of course, Shailesh Prabhu, who did the leadership program in Hyderabad, he was there. Today, that day we discussed, on the first session, we discussed about the provisions related to the Act, section 1 to 10, and Surabhi has rightly and nicely presented it. And the people who have missed the session, first session, for them, we have got a recording, and those recordings are already uploaded on the MahaSeWA news channel, so that you will be able to do the things. Today, in the second day, we are now moving from the provisions of the Act to the provisions of the rules. Now, today we have with us, as a guest of honor, the Honorable Sri Dhaneshwar Hardare. Sri Honorable Dhaneshwar Hardare was the former Chief Engineer and Architect of the MADA, Maharashtra Housing Area and Development Authority in Maharashtra. And later on, when the RERA started, MahaRERA started initiating or functioning from 1st May 2017, he became the first technical officer and advisor, founder, technical officer and advisor, who set up the entire system for the purpose of registration of a project. And he has always been kind enough to answer the queries of the various people and also the promoters. And within a period of 2 to 3 months, more than 20,000 projects got registered under his guidance. And now, as a chief guest, he is there. Welcome, Dhaneshwar Hardare sir. Welcome to you.
Yeah, good evening to all.
Yeah. Sir, we are all chartered accountants. And here these chartered accountants are doing nothing but, chartered accountants who want to do the practice. They are here and they will be guided by you. And secondly, we have a today presenter. Presenter is none other than Shailesh Salvi, who is also one of the participants in the course. And we had invited the volunteers. Thank you very much, Shailesh, for accepting volunteership. At the end of the day,
honor to me, sir. In fact,
welcome you, and we'll definitely start the session. And we request each of you to volunteer for one of the sessions so that the thinking process goes up. Then we have with us today as a panelist, Minesh Shetty is our panelist who will be answering the questions in case he has done a leadership program 4 days at Hyderabad. So he will be there with Shailesh Salvi in case you need any guidance. With this, thank you very much for being with us, and I welcome Sri Hardare sir to give us a keynote address. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu sir, for inviting me and honoring me for this series of lectures. And it's a good beginning done by you, and it's a second session in the first series. And I really congratulate all the people who have joined this basic course, and it is going to be most useful course for all of you, those who have joined this course. Uh, in a first few opening remarks, I would like to tell you, I was heading this organization for almost 4 years, and now about 50,000 projects are registered, 50,000 agents are registered in last over 7 years. But the journey was tough in the beginning, and over the years, RERA has modified the procedures, and in between there were some problems also. People used to upload the fake papers, fake occupation certificate, completion certificates. So RERA has to modify certain procedures also, and yes, they were necessary. And for the people who are undergoing this course, I would like to tell them that you must see the definitions given in the chapter of this act. They are very useful definitions. Some definitions like local authority. What is local authority? Who is the local authority? Who approves the project? The local authority could be nagarpalika, could be municipal corporation, could be a gram panchayat. Gram panchayat is also allowed, but then the documents needs to be there. The gram panchayats are not backed by technical people to approve the commencement certificate of the project. But yes, there are technical officers under collector, and they are assigned for certain gram panchayats. So if they get this commencement certificate issued from the technical officer, town planning department, then it is authentic. Otherwise, gram panchayat or panchayat commencement certificate is not authentic, and those projects cannot be registered. So commencement certificate is a preliminary document for project registration, and that is very important document to be seen by the registering people. Once the commencement certificate is issued, that is the first document based on the land title certificate and other certificate, etc. When commencement certificate is issued, and if the promoter starts to sell his project, then yes, registration is required. But if he doesn't start selling and he wants to go ahead with the project, he need not immediately register the project. But he can go ahead with the project after all documents are received, and then before he starts selling, before he start advertising, he has to register his project. That is must registration. I have seen some people are still confused about the registration for the projects where the land area is less than 500 or number of apartments are more than 8. Some people feel that if the apartments are more than 8, registration is required. Yes, that is true. And the conditions are either one of the condition, the area that is 500 square meter, or the number of apartments more than 8 should be satisfied. If one of the condition is satisfied, then he gets exemption rather. Out of the two conditions, if one is condition is not satisfied, then he gets exemption. Suppose the area is less than 500 and the apartments are more than 8, then he need not be registered because he can get exemption. Because we have seen project registered having 60 apartments, but the plot area is less than 500, hardly 480 extra, especially in Mumbai and elsewhere where the FSI is high. In Mumbai city, the FSI is maybe 7, 8, 9. There, the plot areas are smaller than 500, but number of apartments are over 50, 60, 70. Such projects have been registered, but really, if the area is less than 500 and the apartments are more than 8, they can get exemption. If they satisfy one of the condition, they can get the exemption. So this is one of the basic criteria for registration. That is plot area and number of apartments. Another criteria, if the redevelopment project, the project per se is not required to be registered. But if there are self apartments, again 500 plus 8, that condition will apply. But the redevelopment project, only it is redevelopment project, there are no sale components, then the project is not required to be registered. He can also get exemption. These are the basic things for registrations. And off late, you might be listening from RERA that many projects are lapsed. Lapse means yes, they have outlived their whatever time limit they had given. whenever they give some time limit, and if the time limit is expired, then the project also get lapsed or get stalled. It is not per se stalled. Project might be going, but the time limit has expired. So there are more than 8,000 such projects RERA has where time limit is expired, and people are not getting it extended for a variety of reasons. So that is the most worry to the RERA these days, and they have found out that out of now after careful study they found that almost 50% projects are completed but they don't have occupation certificate. So out of 8,000 odd projects, in about 4,000 projects, they found that the projects are completed, but they don't have occupation certificate. Now, occupation certificate also, maybe there are many difficulties in getting occupation certificate. Project has outlived the expiry date, and maybe there is some sale still going on, and sale is not allowed by the registrars because he doesn't have valid extension. So these are some of the reasons. And out of roughly 4,000 projects which are completed but they don't have valid extension, and balance 4,000, recently out of balance 4,000, 1,750 projects have been suspended by the RERA very recently, 2 days back. So the suspension is again a new thing from RERA because these projects are not doing anything. They are not progressing at all, and probably they are selling or the projects are stalled. So the stall projects is a big worry for the RERA and as a community, CA community, etc. Because the projects are not going means everything is stopped. So projects stalled or stopped or stressed, as different names suggest, it's really a problem, and we have to face this problem all CS, because registration is only a beginning of the any project. After registration, many compliances start. Section maybe Form 3, Form 5, and then all other compliances, then complaints handling and all those things. So many such things they follow up, and this basic course will certainly enlighten you about many things from this registration to completion of the project. Completion, only after getting completion, the project is completed, and then it has to be completed within the given time, within the registered time by the promoter on the RERA website. These are my few opening remarks, and I will hand over to Prabhu sir.
Yeah, thank you, Hardare sir. You have nicely covered the basic thing which required. Now there is a question from CA Dinesh. The question is either one of the conditions are satisfied, RERA is not applicable. Sir, you are right. Dinesh, what you are saying is right because MahaRERA has come out with the notification also
Okay.
saying that if one of the conditions are fulfilled, then they don't require regime. Both the condition has to be fulfilled. That means it should be more than 8 units and it should be more than 500 square meter. Because this was decided in the appellate tribunal and it was also upheld by the tribunal also, and therefore the notification has been issued. Second thing, what has happened is, yes, Madras High Court also has passed a judgment saying that only both the conditions are satisfied, then only. Now, your next question is, Mr. Dinesh,
Yes,
you
sir.
are saying, you want to ask the question, Dinesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, bank and register department is not accepting this exemption.
I know there is a question by another participant also that whether we get an exemption certificate. That is,
Yes, sir.
Deepika has asked the question, sir, do we need to apply for exemption certificate or it is deemed exempted? So there is nothing exemption certificate which is issued by MahaRERA, but uh, Rajasthan RERA has initiated a process of giving an exemption certificate also. So exemption per se is not available. Now the question is, Mr. Dinesh, you are right that banks are not accepting, public at large are not accepting if it is not RERA registered, and even registrars, they are saying how we will know whether you have 8 units, 10 units, how we can say that exempted, because you are doing a business.
So
Once you are
one,
doing a business for us,
Prabhu sir,
everything is right.
one small suggestion into this, like can
Yeah.
be chartered accountant be authorized to give a certificate? Like we know better than anyone else, like whether the registration is required or no. So
I
if
think a very good
RERA gives
suggestion.
that authority to us to issue a certificate in this regard, that exemption certificate would not be required then. Even the chartered accountant certificate should be accepted by the finance institutes.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. I
you
think
can give as an opinion. We can give as an opinion of the section 3 of the act, and if the bank accept that, there should not be harm. Another high media in this case, some of the people they wanted a certificate from RERA. RERA is not a giving certificate, such a certificate, but yes, under source complaint, one of the promoter filed a complaint. This project is not getting registered, and RERA said this project has exemption, and RERA issued an order because this project doesn't fulfill the criteria for registration and it is exempted. So these are the high media also. Although RERA is not issuing such a certificate, exemption certificate, but under source complaint, if somebody complains to RERA, if this project is not getting registered, RERA can give an order. Yes, this is not fulfilling both the criteria as required for registration and is not required for registration, and it is exempted. Such things have happened in past.
correct. That is more like a complaint.
Yeah,
You are
but
right.
RERA is not giving a certificate.
I agree with you. I agree with you. RERA, but Rajasthan RERA has started giving this type of certificates.
Okay.
So they are taking all the information, understanding, and giving. Dinesh, you have made a very valid point. If we can, include chartered accountants or any professionals to give a certificate, and that should be accepted, we will consider and represent to the government.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay.
That
Thank
will
you.
be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And Deepika, I think I have answered your question. And then there are some chat box, some questions, and then we can answer them little later. So Raj Agarwal has some question. I think yes, dear all, whoever wishes to take certain topics on RERA and present sessions or in presenting other topic related to RERA can message Shailesh Prabhu, who is a program coordinator, who is also program leader, and he is my partner also. So you can always coordinate with him, and he is also executive in our GRA Redevelopment Stakeholder Council. I forgot to say that along with our chairman, Honorable Shri Gautam Chatterjee, Shri Dhaneshwar Hardare sir has agreed to be a secretariat at our GRA Redevelopment Stakeholder Council, a new body which is getting formed of all the stakeholders. And in that stakeholders body, in order to give the opportunity to chartered accountants and the profession to, provide their services, we are going to have empanelment. And once we do the empanelment, you will also be approached by various people, and you will also know who are the developers who are interested in getting these services. So it is going to be something like a aggregator platform where you will get a lot of information about the redevelopment, other things. So Hardare sir, thank you being
Yeah,
there. And
yeah.
I am the vice chairman of that GRA Redevelopment Stakeholder Council. All stakeholders will be there. So I again request each of the chartered accountants to empanel there. And also, if you want to become a member, you can also become a member. So, Reet Wagela has a question. Uh, if there is no sale, the developer now component in the project, and we get OC from the appropriate department after a year, can we sell the flat after that without the RERA registration? Over to you, sir.
Yes, you can. Certainly, sir, because registration was not required, because you did not take money from the people. You did not take any money from the any buyer. You completed the project from your own money. And after obtaining completion certificate, you are selling, you are allowed to sell.
Okay. CA Ajit Sharma has a question. If the status of the project is under abeyance, because you said that there are 1750 projects which have been suspended, kept under abeyance because
Yes.
they are not completed certain things. What is the
Yeah.
complication and what do you mean by this? What is the status of that?
Basically, these projects are struggling very hard for completion. Maybe they have stopped at some stage. They have collected money and they are not able to. The developers might have diverted money because these are the legacy. Most of them are legacy projects. I mean, they started prior to 17 before registration of the RERA, but they got registered in the RERA, but they are not getting completed. So they are legacy. Most of them are legacy projects. I mean, there are there are about 300 projects which were to be completed in 2018 when RERA started in 2017. So out of these projects, 392 projects are from the batch of 2018, which was to be completed in 2018, but so far they are not completed.
Okay.
Likewise, year-wise, there is a list of
Correct.
projects which are required to be completed, but they are not required. Really, they are facing some difficulties. Maybe promoters have diverted money, or there are some big issues which needs to be sorted out.
Okay, Ajit Sharma ji, let me tell you, the status of those projects are lapsed. And since they are lapsed, under Section 8 of RERA, it becomes an obligation on the regulatory authority to get the project completed. Now, how the authority will get it completed? Naturally, they will allow the allottees to form a associate allottee and approach RERA so that the allottees can come together, form a associate allottee, appoint a contractor, get the project completed. The RERA, by conducting a hearing under Section 7 and 8, will hand over the project to the allottees. That is one way of looking at it. Second way, the builders also, the developer also will come forward, promoter will come forward and saying that, yes, I have not done a lot of compliance and now I have got something I will do. So under Section 7, subsection 3, he may be given a further extension to get the project completed within the time frame. So this way, there are various status, and sometimes, they are not given QR, quarterly progress report, they are not given the annual statement of accounts audited. So therefore, these are the some of the things which is happening. Now, Raj Agarwal has a question. Can we just know the difference between NA plot, agricultural plot in a Guntevari?
NA plot is non-agricultural plot. It's a basically required only they only can do agriculture unless the status is declared as non-agricultural. They cannot be used for the purpose of constructing any house. So NA plots are not meant for agriculture plots are not meant for housing. NA plots, yes. Once non-agriculture permission is obtained from the collector, yes, then they can be sold or houses can be constructed on NA plots.
Okay. Thank you very much. Deepak, you are right. Ajit Sharma, you are right. If the status of the project is under abeyance and it is already handed over to the society and there is no problem, that is perfectly all right. Then that information should be given to the RERA. RERA will get the project completion report from the architect in form number 4, and then it can be worked out. Gopal has a question. In case of a redevelopment of an existing society started in the year 2017, project registered subsequently, current MahaRERA has kept the registry under abeyance. What are the rights of the third party buyer? So let me tell you, Gopal, the right of the third party gets reserved. It is the what is the purpose of RERA? Let me ask you. The purpose of RERA is to protect the interest of the third party buyer. And if the project is under abeyance, that means the promoter is not performing his duties. And because he is not performing, the RERA is indulging in it and saying that you complete your performance, whatever the compliance are that you do, and thereafter we'll allow you, give the extension of registration. There are more than thousands of projects where this was lapsed, they were not doing, and when the show cause notice was given, they applied for the extension and they have got the extension also. So therefore, can the third party approach the RERA? Answer is yes. In order to protect their right, they have to form a associate and or otherwise also individuals, they can approach the RERA and get their right protected. So with this, let us now go. If you are still got a question, we have with us panelist Minish Shetty, who is also the convener of study group at WRC of ICI. He will answer your question. And now let us give the Shailesh Salvi.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. First of all, I'm honored to have this opportunity with your under your guidance. This is
and also you give your little background as
yes,
to
sir.
what you were and what made you to join this course and what made you to volunteer for this course.
Yes,
okay,
sir. Of course.
and take up this session also. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello, friends. Good evening to all. I am CA Shailesh Salvi. I was working with industry for almost last 30 years, and for last 10 years, I'm with the real estate companies, builders mainly. And last year, I decided to take up a practice because all these years I was working as a as an executive executing the projects as well as taking up the challenges with respect to finance, registration, and all. And I was contemplating as to what should be the my area of practice. And for literally last 1 year, I was just finding out right approach and the area to focus on. Fortunately, I happened to meet Prabhu sir in one of the real estate conclave held by Vasai branch at Mahindra. And it was really an eye-opening session for me with the interaction with Prabhu sir. And I got a direction and I decided to have my focus on real estate and RERA in particular. And I started working towards that. And I'm really thankful to Prabhu sir for giving me guidance, not only the guidance, but the encouragement. Literally, this is for the first time I have been talking to an audience. Thank you, sir, once again. I have given a topic. This is the second session. First session held by last speaker was very fantastic. I don't know how far I will be able to manage with that, but still I have made my attempts. The topic second session, I have been allotted rules and regulations with respect to registration of the project. I have made a presentation. I'll just start off with the presentation. I am CA Shailesh Salvi, and as I told you, the today's topic is rules and regulations with respect to registration of the project. This is a small slide created, rather like I'm also grateful to Nanendra sir. Like this is your act and your rules. We have just trying to adapt ourselves to the acts and rules and getting acquainted to it. We have tried to all these years, like working with the real estate companies. I have always tried to adhere to the regulations and all, and try to put it into a proper perspective for the purpose of the viewers. Last speakers and other introduction has already been answered. I will not spend time on it. I'll skip if you all permit to me. For the purpose of registration, MahaRERA had charges some convenience fees. These fees are different from the registration charges, like which depend on the project to project. So this is the earlier the fees was like very nominal charges are there. Earlier, like for the new project registration, they were charging 750 rupees and it's been increased to 1050 rupees. While doing that order, the one thing that I would like to share with you is like the expression made by the MahaRERA at that time, like the quantum and the interest in the MahaRERA activity was so large. Like people have really appreciated it that real estate industry, which was earlier not very organized way, like builders used to manage it. They were good builders, but most of the cases what we used to listen, like there were a lot many conflicts the way like the project used to be proposed, and by the end 2-3 years down the line, people used to get like whatever the promise was not completed. So after RERA came into the picture in 2017, and initially now when I look back, like things are really organized, and MahaRERA has done really a great job in this respect by structuring the things. So these are the fee structure. The fee structure is like new project registration, project extension. Then there are annual fees. What is that? These are basically convenience fees which MahaRERA website is charging us. Now the jurisdiction, as you all know, this applies to entire Maharashtra, rural as well as urban, and it is also applicable for commercial and residential both put together. The exemption limits was Daneshwar had said. So this is applicable for more than 500 square meter and more than 8, and both the conditions have to be fulfilled simultaneously. If any of the condition is not fulfilled, even though if it is more than 500 square feet or number of units are more than 8, the registration is mandatory. Now, this is a small flow chart which I happen to come across, which gives you the way how it like how it starts, like how when once you under section 3, I'll start from the top. Like it is the obligation of the promoter, statutory obligation of the promoter, which is casted upon under section 3 to get the project registered unless until it is exempted. Okay. And fee is like 10 rupees per square meter. These fees are basically registration fees and not the convenience fees. So it is rupees 10 per square meter of land area, subject to minimum of rupees 10,000 and maximum rupees 10 lakhs. Now, before we start the registration, the person has, like promoter, he has to first get himself login credentials from the RERA site, and the flow, like if it is an ongoing project, because initially when RERA came into the picture, there were projects which were ongoing. They were given a window of days of 90 days to get the project registered. Within 90 days, if somebody did not register, then they were barred from doing the activities like marketing and all. So that was basically with respect to those ongoing projects. Currently, since the RERA has come, I think all the new projects have been getting registration. The flow will be like there are currently like there are 3 technical desks over there. They call it like there's a finance team, there's a legal and the technical things. So we have to upload the documents, the list of the documents and the other activities that we need to do. I have prepared one entire Excel sheet, which is a control chart as a practical experience, what I used to have, like while doing the registration. You need to coordinate and come across like various teams within the organization, outside the organization, to collect all the information put together. And as a CFO of the my earlier organization, like I literally had to get everybody come across onto the board with their consensus, because everybody has their own views and beliefs accordingly. As a finance person, I feel like chartered accountants are the best person to handle the registration, because registration is the key part of any particular project. Because when you register a project, you really work out the entire feasibility aspects of the project, starting from to the end of the project. So the owners, the stakeholders, because many a times there are joint development agreements. So all the data has to be properly compiled, and then monitoring is also very possible. Okay, so this is a small introduction towards the registration process. The rules and regulations will this is what I was discussing about. The 90 days window was given initially when the RERA was introduced, and
How?
one more registration that we do on RERA is for the agent registration. This is also like each and every agent which are involved into the sales procedure have to get themselves registered. Unless and until a person is registered as an real estate agent, he is not eligible for the brokerage or whatever the commission that he derives from the particular deal. So, and at the same time, the agents are also getting the benefit of RERA structure, because many times, like they used to have an oral understanding with the builders and developers. So the RERA has also even helped the agent fraternity to get structurized and give the most possible benefits to the customers and getting benefit out of it. This is a window that when we go to the MahaRERA site, wherein you have to do the login. If you don't have a login, you can go for a new registration. At a time of new registration, you can create your own account as a promoter or as a real estate agent or as a citizen. So even as a citizen, I can register myself, because this is mostly used in case as a customer. If I am aggrieved with the builder, then I can go onto the site, register myself, and that particular project I can like upload my complaint, register my complaint. And trust me, RERA is very affirmative and very positive on all these aspects. The complaints are immediately taken up. The matters are taken up. There are tribunals. The things like everything is transparent. Like you really wonder, like the real estate industry is going to go to a new heights, because everyone is now getting tuned to it. Initially, they were okay, some teething issues were there, but now the things are getting stabilized, and I think this is the future. And as a chartered accountant, since I know, like any this is really given me an opening. Now, these are the importance we have discussed about this, like how RERA is beneficial and all, which we have discussed. Now, the violation, consequences of non-registration. So, any violation or contravention in the registration process as provided under Section 3 and 4 of RERA, the promoter may be liable, responsible and accountable to face compensation, like he has to give the compensation, he will be charged with penalties, and the project also may get revoked. Once the project is revoked, like gets revocation, then the promoter cannot do the advertisement. He is not supposed to accept fresh bookings. So these are the levels of the contraventions. Like first level for doing advertisement, sale and marketing without registration may attract penalty up to 10% of the cost of the project. That is under Section 59(1) of RERA Act. And the second level of contravention is in case, like second time, in spite of authority order, that if the project is not registered within the time granted by the authority, the additional penalty up to 10% of the cost of the project. And imprisonment provision is also being specified under Section 59(2). So Section 59 deals with these two penalties. Under Section 70, the promoter wants to compound, like once he is charged, he is given this order of these two penalties, he can go for compounding of the imprisonment sentence, and he may be asked to pay the compounding penalty up to 10% of the cost of the project. So imagine, this is very huge penalties. Like with the project size in Mumbai places, like it goes minimum like 300 and goes up to like any limit. Like, so there's huge penalties that have been imposed upon by RERA, and these are the deterrents which have compelled now the builder fraternity, because many small time, medium time size builders were not very keen and not very adaptable to the situation. But now, since the RERA has imposed this, and as rightly Dhaneshwar sir had said 2 days back, like some 1,750 suspensions orders have been issued by RERA. So this is going to be very difficult for the builder fraternity to. So they have to come in line, and there is going to be a very huge opportunity for a chartered accountants especially. And I think most of you are already practicing chartered accountants. I'm not very used to practicing, but yes, I can do, and with this thing, like I think there is a quite good scope for us. Okay, and the fourth level of penalty is like if the project registration is obtained with incomplete information or wrong information, the authority may levy penalty up to 5%. So giving incomplete information or the wrong information is also an offense under Section 60, Section 4. So whatever information that is going on the RERA site has to be in a proper manner. Most of the time, what happens, like now we have taken the registration over a period, there are changes, because this happens in the real estate industry. It's very peculiar to the industry. Like down the line, 6 months, 1 year, there's some order. Now we are getting the issues related to airport authority height restrictions. So many builders have to redesign the project. The FSI consumption has to be utilized, so they find ways and means to accommodate and utilize the FSI. Whatever the amendments once gets approved by the sanctioning authority have to be updated on the RERA, because the bookings and everything have obtained by the developer based on the amended plans, because whenever a customer approaches a builder, the builder is normally gives the rosy picture like in future ye hoga wo hoga. So those amendments also have to be properly incorporated onto the RERA side. So these are the sections of penalty. Uh, now,
So, So if I may interrupt, sir, what is this incomplete information would be, sir? Like, because in the previous slide, the fourth point,
yes,
incomplete
sir.
information.
See,
Incomplete information could be what? Missing to upload one particular document also would be.
No,
would
basically
be
incomplete information as far as penalty section is attracted is, are there any cases, litigations? See, most of the times in the real estate, there are many litigations which may be like manageable, non-manageable. So whatever the litigation, if it is to the lower court or it is, then obviously it gets reflected. But there are other than many other litigations are there. So the incomplete information, if anybody raises like आपको पता था यहाँ पर ये आने वाला है फिर भी आपने अपने नहीं बताया, so I mean to say that कि भाई there are certain plans कि DP plan change होता है like so basically these are information as an agri customer मुझे आपने क्या बोलते हैं उसको प्रिफर्ड लोकेशन का चार्जेस लिया है और मेरे सामने आपने दूसरा टावर बांध दिया. So you already had that information with you, but you did not disclose it. So as an agri customer, I have every right to raise that. So now the customers are also very smart. They keep records of each and everything. So whatever documents that a builder gives to the customer, either by way of advertisement, even if a small ad in a local newspaper can go against the builder if the customer is smart enough to raise those issues. So that is what is incomplete build. What like in my understanding, Prabhu sir, if you can just enlighten in this or any.
Your presentation should be completed.
Yes,
The
sir.
questions, when you say incomplete information, let me tell you, people were submitting the information half-heartedly,
Okay.
not
Right.
doing anything properly. Why this course was supposed to be designed? The reason is that one should have the comprehensive knowledge. What are the information that need to be given?
Yes.
Next lecture we have checklist and other things where you
Yes.
will know.
Yes.
And what happens is many of the promoters, chartered accountants, or maybe for any reason, they collect half information, give it to the authority. Authorities will have to go through everything and they send it back saying that these are incomplete information. They give all the remarks. Still, in the hurry, without reading and doing, once again they submit. In spite of making repeated accounts 2-3 times, when they are not doing and then they start advertising, that is the time when the authorities say that enough is enough. Now we'll levy the penalty.
Right.
Because you are giving informed. Therefore, this course was demanded by many of the professionals that we don't want to get mistake, and that's also should be recorded. That is what we are doing here. Okay, go ahead.
So the section 4 we have discussed. So under section 12, any incorrect or false statement in advertisement may make the promoter liable to refund of amount to the authorities with the compensation. Then under section 14, any changes in the plan without the consent of the parties after booking in the project or without changing the details. So if any change has to be made by the builder, of course he has valid reasons, but he has to approach the customer, take the consent. Even the consent forms formats have been designed and given by the RERA authority. So unless until builder obtains consent, he is not supposed to make any changes. Okay. So under section 7, a project can be revoked by the RERA authority if RERA finds that a builder has made any unfair trade practice. Under section 18, the authority may compel the promoter to refund the amount collected from allottees with interest and compensation. So these are various sections which RERA has given the authority. Under like some sections there are compensation, some sections the interest is also being added. Now the role of a chartered accountant that we were talking, as well as the other architects, have been given in this particular slide. Like the registration of the project requires legal, technical, financial aspects of the project to be submitted to the before granting registration. So once we will take up the checklist thing as a practically like what we used to do, so you will understand like it's a very like a time consuming job. Like we'll find the registration is very simple, but it's not that. Like you need to really discuss and have interactive meetings with sales department, with sales team, with your technical engineering team, architects, and the legal teams, because there are so many issues. So we used to have that checklist. So I have sharing that thing. So this is the role of professionals like chartered accountants, architects, solicitors. Okay. Now, a legal framework. There are definitions like promoter under section 2 Z key, and under section 2 the definitions have been given. As far as today's topic, I am restricting myself to the registration and the registration itself. So prior registration under section 3, rule number 3, information to be furnished by the promoter for the registration. Then if there is a rejection, so under rule 6, the RERA can grant or reject the registration of the project. Then extension are also happening because when we go for the registration, we foresee like there is a period of like 3 years we'll complete the construction, maybe another down the line 6 months we will be able to obtain the occupation certificate. So we take a period of like 4 years maximum, that is all. But eventually what happens, the things changes, there are amendments, there are certain restrictions which do come, which extends, we need the extension. So that extension RERA can, we have to approach, as a developer approaches RERA to allow the project to get extended so that the construction can be completed. So with valid reason, the extensions also can be obtained under rule number 7. Revocation, we have already discussed on that. Now, these are various circulars which RERA had come up since the start. What are the things which are mandatory, like registration circular number 2, the circular number 32, definition of co-promoter. Circular number 15 is related to the fees and all. Then project registration process clarifications. So RERA is very active onto it. If you see the number of circulars that have come up, only with respect to the registration, these are the few circulars which are related to the registration things. So I'm able to got those things and collected into this. Exemption that Dhaneshwar sir also mentioned, these are the exemption under section 3. There are exemptions given to the projects which are less than 500 square meters of land plot area. Okay. And those who have already completed the occupation certificate have already received, so they are also not required to register themselves. And where the project is developed for the purpose of renovation or repair or redevelopment. So primarily the concept of RERA is to safeguard the interest of stakeholders. Here the stakeholders are customers primarily and the investors, because in case of a joint development agreement, the owner of the land plot, he is also a co-promoter, but he is also one of the customer. He is also a party because he is again depending upon the developer. So project is renovation of repair and redevelopment. There is no exemption. There is no requirement of this thing, registration. Both the conditions have to be simultaneously required to be fulfilled for getting the project registration. So that Prabhu sir and Dhaneshwar has cleared it. Any of the condition is applicable. You need not register the project, even like your project is more than 500 square meter, but your number of apartments are say only 6. So no need to register. If the project is less than 500 square meter and number of apartments are more than 8, like 10, even though there is no need for registration. So proposed to be developed considered important, not the number of apartments. So apartment proposed. So here I have specifically highlighted this section is like builder would say like any person consults us like अभी तो मैं 5 ही बना रहा हूँ, अभी तो मैं 6 ही बना रहा हूँ, बाद में मेरा 7, 8, 10 के ऊपर चला जाएगा. No, you are proposing it because your layout gets sanctioned accordingly. So this is something which is technical, which we have to ask the developer, like what are you going to do? Because in case of redevelopment, this normally happens because existing tenants, like there are 15, and they have an additional FSI which they contemplate of having some 8-10 apartments, but because of some other things they restrict themselves to only 6 apartments. So, but if your entire layout is having the structure of 10 more than 8, then you need to have the registration done. So this is something which is technically which we need to look at. Both the conditions are decided, the same thing which I had mentioned you earlier. Okay. When the real estate project can be registered? Once commencement certificate. Now, when do you require to register? Like when you are eligible to do the registration, once the commencement certificate is obtained, then only RERA is allowing the developer to register the project. The commencement certificate is basically allows the builder to start the construction work. So once that is obtained, then you can go for the registration. Like you may be having entire plot, you may be having everything, but your plans and layout, everything is approved, but you have not received the commencement certificate. So unless until you have a commencement certificate, your project will not be registered. The document checklist, this is the checklist which we used to normally follow. So I will just show you the draft. This will be shared with all of you, so you can go through it in detail. Like I've tried to not to miss any single important things. Like what are the details? If you go through each and every point is going to cost us time. Like if you see the details of the promoter, there will be promoter, co-promoter, all the details in document to be uploaded. So these are the documents that we require to upload. Details of the new project. What is the status of the project? Building apartment details. Like what will be the name of the project? What will be the name of the building? One project can have a wing wise, they can get a registration. Now registration you can obtain in phase wise also. Now the land details, whatever the land details in common area detailing need to be properly documented, and that also, of course, this comes with the architect certificate. But when we do the uploading, like I used to do it myself on the site, so I knew what practical difficulties that we face, because the site doesn't allow us to save the things. So every time you keep on doing the iterations, and one point you get stuck. So next time again, like you have to restart it. So it is quite time consuming. At the same time, it is quite challenging also. Now here our role comes very large role of a chartered accountant, because this is cost estimation is again a very important task, because based on this cost, your budget, your future cash flow, everything gets depend, and chartered accountant has to give a certificate in form number 3 for quarterly updation. So all those things are related to this. Now this particular thing is itself is will be very vast topic, so I will not deal with that right now. Then if there are any like what are the contractors who are going to be appointed, architects, structural engineers. Now in case of any litigations are there, so what are the litigations that including the case numbers and everything have to be disclosed. Now activity wise, like also like this is basically architect certificate gives, because initially first time registration also requires architect certificate. Even though there is no work done, you'll have to put 0%, but architect has to give this certificate. Likewise, engineer also has to give the certificate. So basically this is kind of a control checklist that we used to keep. Promoter this is, co-promoter this is. So these are basically documentation. Fees for the registration as per new revised this thing, rupees 10 per square meter land area, rate of fees based on the land area. So whatever the size of the project, if the land area is say 1000 square meter, so 10 rupees per square meter, like 10,000 would be the fee. So that is the minimum fees, and maximum proportionate to that. This is in case of residential, commercial or mixed use of building. In case of plotting developments, nowadays a lot of NA plottings are being developed. wherein the landowner, he demarcates the plots on the basis of the layout and does the preliminary provision of like fencing till the gate, like he also provides the connection, the internal roads. So that is also a development project which is required for the registration. For that, the fees is 5 rupees per square meter, and minimum and maximum is the same. There are certain judicial rulings on registration that I have noted it down. So, in the landmark judgment given by Honorable Maharashtra Real Estate Appellate Tribunal, in case of Gitanjali Aman Construction, the RERA Appellate Tribunal held that satisfaction of any of the two conditions shall suffice for the project to get exempted. This is what we have discussed extensively. So, there is a case law also to that effect. Now, apartments, like apartment also includes industrial units. So it is not only residential or commercial, even the industrial units wherein there are service industries or even the heavy industries. So industrial unit is also falling under the RERA guidelines for registration. Okay, Tamil Nadu, the industrial laws are covered, the same thing. The Lavasa Corporation, like it was matter of dispute over the transferring apartment on the basis of long-term lease. Now, this particularly the long-term lease has also been considered as a development project for which registration is required. So, held that a long-term lease project falls within the ambit of the provisions of the RERA. Okay, important opposition made by Honorable High Court in the case of Neel Kamal, which is a very big, like reckoner of real estate. So Neel Kamal case, one should always go through that. Mandatory to have any of the following things in order to register agreement to sale with the register. So now the order has been given by the RERA authority to the registrar and sub-registrar. No sale agreement will be registered unless until the project is. That's the reason registrar is insisting everyone to have the registration. So there's a disconnect because there's an exemption order, but there is no exemption certificate provision as of now with the RERA, which we discussed earlier. So with this, like I conclude. Thank you all for your patient listening, and thank you, Prabhu sir, once again for giving me this opportunity of expressing myself. So in times to come, I think this will be a very good thing. I'm really happy doing this thing. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Salvi ji.
Yes, sir.
Shailesh bhai has prepared this presentation in the last 2 days, and I think he deserves a round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
And everybody joins with me, and
thank you very much.
It should be an encouragement to others also, because we want participants to prepare.
So I can tell you one thing only, like since you said you will do it, and whatever things like we are there, and it literally gave me confidence to get into it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Correct. See, what happens is, if we go on, saying it is not possible, this is like this, like that, that won't work.
Yes, sir.
We have to go on, doing ourselves. Then only things starts.
Yes, sir.
Anything starting is always going to be difficult, and you need some mentor like us, and I am there to do it. So therefore, I am saying, even Surbhi, let me tell you, she gave the presentation for the first time. You also gave a presentation for the first time. So, but that has given you a lot of confidence. You can explain how was you feeling now? How you feel today? You feel much relieved, and you have given a wonderful presentation. Let me tell you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So therefore, I was saying that let there not be intervention by the people, and if anybody else is there, there are 22 sessions you can always take, and if not RERA, I'm also inviting people who are good in other subjects like GST, income tax, tax audit, anything. We also started, I'm heading Maharashtra Society Welfare, where we have on every Saturday Prabhu ki Khas Baat. In that Prabhu ki Khas Baat, we thought let us have panel discussion on various subjects from chartered accountants. So that every Saturday 12 to 1, Saturday 12 to 1, yes, 1 hour, there will be discussion, panel discussion on various subjects you can take. So Minish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Minish,
Yes,
let us have the panel discussion. because if there are some questions from the people, they can go ahead. And Minish Shetty is the convener of WRCA study circle for RERA, RERA's CPA study circle. And there we have once in a month we meet, and there we have formed 10 groups where Minish Shetty has been guiding various groups as to what subject they should take, how it should be done. And those who want to join study circle, still you can go. It's a WRC study circle, so you can take the interest. So we'll share the Excel file, we'll share the presentation, also we'll share the recording. Maniji, there is a question from the participants that
Yes,
whether industrial projects require registration in Maharashtra.
Yes, sir. It is required. Any project, basic condition is that 500 square meter and 8 units. That is only there.
Yeah,
So-
you are right. See, whenever it is an industrial gala, whether it is an industrial project, that requires registration. However, MahaSeWA ruled that if there is an industrial project which requires lot of clearance, environment, chemical, this industrial, like a economical zone, industrial zone, where so many permissions are required from the industrial department. In that case, it is not only a real estate, it has something addition to that, and therefore those such projects are not covered under RERA. The same thing was upheld by the Honorable Appellate Tribunal in Maharashtra, RERA. However, in Tamil Nadu, similar question came in, where Minish is rightly pointing out that whether industrial estate is covered under RERA, even Tamil Nadu Appellate Tribunal said, no, it is covered under RERA. Because it is a real estate project where you are constructing, selling. What is the use is immaterial. Because the RERA, the Act says, any real estate project used for any purpose, whether commercial or residential. Even a plotted development is covered. So therefore, Minish, you are right, but there are certain controversial judgments, and those are limited to the particular facts. One should understand that. Yes, Minish.
Sir, how unit is defined? How unit is defined?
Okay, Kavesh has a question. Kavesh, you are right. The unit is not defined here. It is called apartment. So therefore, the apartment, if you look at the definition of the apartment, if you want me to read the definition of apartment, I can still read.
Sir, because in industrial unit, there should be for one of the client, there are two, three, one is warehouse, one is manufacturing unit. So there are two, three industrial units, some sites are there. So will it be considered as the one, or it have a separate wall, separate
The unit means one apartment. If you call it as an industrial unit, that means one apartment.
Okay.
However, again I am saying, in the case of industrial shed, that industrial shed also is a under construction, constructed. See, you have to look at what is real estate project. If industrial shed is approved project, then it requires registration. Minish, am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One unit means, sir, one saleable unit. Basically, we take that only, na sir.
Correct.
But one saleable unit hai, then it is unit. If we go through
Yeah,
that
yeah.
definition also, then
Definition of the apartment is very clear. For the sake of participants, I'll just read the apartment. Definition of the apartment. It is 2E. Apartment, whether called block, chamber, dwelling unit, flat, office, showroom, shop, godown, premises, suite, tenement, unit, or by any other name which you are saying about shed, any other name, means a separate and self-contained part of any immovable property. Real estate, industrial unit is a real estate immovable property, including one or more rooms, or enclosed spaces. Even enclosed space is called a apartment, located on one or more floor or any part thereof, in a building or on a plot of land, used or intended to be used for any residential or commercial. The word commercial is used. Commercial is a wide term. Used such as a residence, office, shop, showroom, godown, or for carrying on any business. The word used is any business, occupation, profession, trade, or any other type of use ancillary to the purpose specified. So therefore, it's a wide definition apartment. So industrial shed is covered. According to me, industrial galas are covered.
that is
Yes, Minish.
saleable portion is called as unit basically. We consider
बराबर.
that जो हमारा saleable portion है, 1 unit, that is 1 unit. Technically
Thank you.
that one.
Yeah, coverage got satisfied. Any other questions from any participants? अपना panel available है? Because
Sir,
we.
Sir, one
Yeah.
more thing. One more
Yeah,
thing. Because of this definition only, that industrial projects is also covered under RERA.
Correct. You are right.
Sir, in case there's only one unit being constructed for a particular client, then
No, then it is not
meant
covered.
for
That is
sale,
not covered.
meant for sale.
Then
will
it is
be
not covered under RERA only, sir.
something which is only for sale. Then if you're
Yes,
having
yes.
multiple galas being constructed, industrial galas being there, then it possibly would be covered. But any
Yes, sir.
specific
अगर हम लोग कस्टमर से पैसा लेने वाले हैं ना सर,
no.
and that is also more than 8 customers से पैसा लेने वाले, then it is covered under RERA basically.
आप एक आदमी के लिए, दो आदमी के लिए करते हैं तो it is not covered.
Yes, sir.
Shailesh, Salvi, there is a
Yes.
question to you in the chat box. Can registration be applied on the basis of plinth commencement certificate?
Yes.
So plain commission is basically a CC. So yes.
Yes, yes.
See, registration for the purpose of registration, RERA insists on the CC. So initially they give only the plain CC, and once the plain CC, there is an inspection which happens, and then they go for the higher floor CC. So plain CC is good enough for RERA registration, sir.
Okay, आपको बहुत सारा बधाई आया है. जिनको भी appreciate करना है आप appreciate करो. Because I always believe that appreciation and
Very good
acceptance
presentation, sir.
leads to
Thank you,
leads to
Manish, sir.
achieving
Thank you.
something. Shailesh ji and Minish, you will have to confirm because of 3 days and 4 days residential program we had done in Hyderabad, Jaipur, Pimpri Chinchwad. There was a demand from all of you that we need to have in Mumbai, and that too we don't want 3-4 days. Let us have 2 days. So भाईंदर में हमने एक केशव सृष्टि है
Yes.
जहां 2 दिन का प्रोग्राम हमने रखा है. वो है 6th and 7th of July.
Yes.
6th and 7th of July सुबह 9 बजे से लेके शाम को 10-11 बजे तक चलेगा 6th को, और 7th को संडे, सैटरडे एंड संडे, 7th को सुबह 8 बजे चालू करेंगे और रात को 6 बजे तक करेंगे. ताकि हमने 3 सेशन रखा है उसमें. एक तो लोगों को हाउसिंग सोसाइटी का मैनेजमेंट के बारे में जानकारी चाहिए था, उसमें हम लोग क्या रखा है, हाउसिंग सोसाइटी मैनेजमेंट में इलेक्शन, डीम्ड कन्वेंस सब रखा है और ऑडिट. और दूसरा उनको चाहिए था रीडेवलपमेंट. मुंबई में रीडेवलपमेंट ज्यादा चल रहा है एमएमआर रीजन में, तो रीडेवलपमेंट को लेकर रखा है जिसमें डेवलपमेंट कंट्रोल प्रोसेस, रेगुलेशन सब रखा है. और तीसरा जो सेशन रखा है वो रेरा. तो ये तीनों टॉपिक में अलग अलग कम से कम 6-7 रिटायर्ड आईएएस ऑफिसर आएंगे, पेनल्टी फैकल्टीज आएंगे. आई रिक्वेस्ट ईच वन ऑफ यू टू टेक एंड रजिस्टर ऑन दैट. यदि उसमें कैपेसिटी हमने अभी 50 का लिया है, यदि मुझे 20 तारीख के अंदर ज्यादा आते हैं तो, और 100, 150, 200, 500 का कैपेसिटी भी उधर अवेलेबल है, लेकिन मैंने 50 का कैपेसिटी बुक किया है. तो मैं चाहता हूँ 100, 150, 200 लोग इसका बेनिफिट लिया जाए. और मिनिमम अमाउंट रखा है. 1 day, 2 days program with so much full packed programs. आपको सिर्फ 6,000 में आ रहा है, और 20 जून के अंदर आप रजिस्टर करते हो आपको 10% डिस्काउंट भी है, और ऊपर से 1,000 रुपए का हम आपको बुक का कूपन देंगे. तो जो भी टॉपिक के ऊपर बुक मैंने लिखा है, टैक्समैन ने लिखा है, वो आपको उधर उपलब्ध होगा. वो रिएम्बर्समेंट ऑफ दी कॉस्ट भी मिलेगा. तो आई थिंक वी ऑल शुड वर्क ऑन दिस एंड ज्वाइन इट. वी हैव पुट इन द ग्रुप्स and you also circulate to various people. और दूसरा आप लोग को सबको मालूम है, मैं ए टाइम सेंट्रल काउंसिल में कंटेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. आप लोग का मुझे ज्यादा से ज्यादा सपोर्ट भी मैं अपेक्षा करता हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच. वोट टू श्रेयस. श्रेयस, यू कैन कंक्लूड.
Thank you so much, CA Shailesh, Salvi sir, and Minesh Shetty sir, for giving your time. So just wanted to thank everyone, all the participants also. And this time, people were telling that a lot of interaction, a little bit of interaction was pending. But I feel that this time a lot of question which was not answered in the first session, we could answer those session during this session. So thank you so much all. And if you all have any other questions also, any queries which need to be asked, you can ask in the group also, or message me, Prabhu sir, Shailesh sir, or Minesh sir also. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much, Shailesh sir, for your time. Minesh sir also for your time.
Thank you.
And our chief guest, Mr. Hardare sir, to be part of the whole session.
Thank you, sir.
He has been actively listening to the whole program, the whole session. So thank you so much, Mr. Hardare sir, also to be part of the program and giving a keynote address.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, participants, for being with us and joining this course and taking active part. Similarly, the presenter who has taken enough pain to present the session today, panelists, and the participants who have made it very interactive. I request you, any questions are there, you can always email to us. My email address is rsprabhu13@gmail.com, and if you want, you can send the message on WhatsApp, which of course is in the description box. Still, you can take out the number 9820106766, and you can reach out to us anytime, and any new topic that you want to have a discussion on Prabhu Se Khas Baat or the courses physical or even on Zoom, on any time, on online, we will be very happy to organize that. You can be a presenter, you can be a faculty, you can be organizing part of the organizing committee, you can also learn. All these are open. The purpose is to empower every chartered accountant to enter into new area of practice, new area of profession, so that you are able to build your profession in a better way. Thank you very much.